installment, we will be reviewing La Vita e Bella, an Italian movie starring and directed by Roberto Benigni. It translates to Life is Beautiful, and it's a movie that is representative of its title, with the main character, Guido, displaying a great passion for life and optimism about the life despite living as an Italian Jew during the Holocaust. La Vita e Bella won 3 Academy Awards and countless other awards for its comedic element in light of the issues that were discussed. At the start of the film, we see Guido, a young Jewish Italian that has a cheeky and comical side. We witness him falling in love with Dora, a school teacher. We are clued in to the setting of this movie. In a scene in the store, when Guido asks the store owner about his political views, which he responds with, their sons' names are Benito and Adolf.
Allora io vado al comune, la saluto, arrivederci, Arrivederci
Okay,
e fatti bravi ragazzi, perché questi sono tempi brutti, ma brutti brutti.
Sono brutti,
Brutti.
Ma perché lei come la pensa politicamente?
Benito, Adolfo, state buoni. Come diceva?
No, dicevo come va, insomma, vabbè. Allora io la saluto.
Beh, sì, attento, tu mi rompi le gambe. Fa attenzione.
It shows the political climate and support for fascism and Nazism in Italy at the time. A number of themes are visible throughout this movie, and they are sacrifice, perseverance, and optimism in the light of unfortunate circumstances. In this scene, we see the volunteers that are trying to translate the German soldiers. In the scene where he volunteers to translate the German soldiers, despite the obvious threat, he pretends to translate the German soldiers, but is just making it seem like a game to his son.
Ihr habt die Ehre, für unser großes deutsches Vaterland arbeiten zu dürfen und am Bau des Großdeutschen Reiches teilzunehmen. Noi facciamo la parte di quelli cattivi che urlano. Chi ha paura perde punti. 3 Grundregeln solltet ihr nie vergessen. Erstens, versuche nicht zu fliehen. Zweitens, folge jedem Befehl ohne Fragen. Drittens, jeder Versuch eines Aufstandes wird mit dem Tod durch Erhängen bestraft. Ist das klar? In 3 casi si perdono tutti i punti. Li perdono 1, quelli che si mettono a piangere. 2, quelli che vogliono vedere la mamma. 3, quelli che hanno fame e vogliono la merendina. Scordatevela! Ihr solltet glücklich sein, hier arbeiten zu dürfen. Es wird niemandem etwas geschehen, der die Vorschriften befolgt. È molto facile perdere punti per la fame. Io stesso ieri ho perso 40 punti perché volevo a tutti i costi un panino con la marmellata. Gehorsamkeit ist alles. Dal Bicocche. Und noch etwas. Lui di Fragole. Bei diesem Pfiff, alles raus auf den Hof, aber schnell. Ah, non chiedete i lecca lecca perché non ve li danno, ce li mangiamo tutti noi. Antreten in Zweierreihe. Io ieri ne ho mangiati 20. Schweigend. Mal di pancia. Jeden Morgen. Però erano buoni. Ist Appell. Lascia fare. So, das wollte ich euch noch sagen. Dort hinten werdet ihr arbeiten. Ihr werdet die Dimensionen des Lagers leicht begreifen. Scusate se vado di fretta, ma oggi sto giocando a nascondino. Ora vado, se no mi fanno tana.
This complete disregard of the gods standing only centimeters away, it defines Guido's character, a hopeful optimist that makes the harsh reality of the Holocaust into a game for his son. This scene encompasses the character of Guido and the spirit of this movie. It prepares us for the ending of the film with the chilling truth of sacrifice. And when it comes to talent in this film, there is no lack of it. The Oscar-winning director Roberto Benigni stars as Guido and does a brilliant job at bringing this comedy to life. He stars with his wife in Life is Beautiful, Nicoletta Braschici.
Guido has an endless supply of patience. Whatever he chooses to do, he intends to be successful. Is this guy listening to WAP on repeat in his head? That's certainly preferable to having I Feel Terrific trapped in, damn, there it is. Well, I'm going to be hearing that in my head all day. Aside from annoying earworms, Life is Beautiful introduces the concept of persistence. persistence as willpower. Guido demonstrates this repeatedly. He faces challenges, but he never gives up. He never loses hope. He never gives up. 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 He ne He wins Dora's heart and defends his kid in a concentration camp. Other characters demonstrate tenacity as well, but not necessarily in the same way as Guido. Dr. Leasing is an example of this. Name a character who, aside from Guido, fights for someone that they care about. Taking a bite out of this persistence isn't always a good thing, especially when it comes to persecuting and murdering individuals. Guido's determination to keep up the facade of a game for his little boy is, we don't know what to say. Since 1941, the Nazis have been the go-to bad guys for the entertainment industry. Whether Indiana Jones is hitting Nazis in the face, and he's probably murdered more Nazis in the Wolfenstein video game franchise than there have been Nazis in history. Guido, on the other hand, isn't your typical face-punching, gun-totting, testosterone-laced hero. Thus, Life is Beautiful takes a different approach to the Nazis. They're still the bad guys, but this time they're more like a Sunday morning cartoon villain. First, let's go over what Nazism, namely National Socialism, was all about. National Socialism was an extreme form of fascism, political ideology that promoted militarism and national militarism. Democracy and political and cultural liberalism is a belief in natural social hierarchy and elite rule, and desires to create a Volksgemeinschaft, or German people in community, which interests the good of the nation. In other words, anything that strengthens your country is a good thing, and the needs of individuals and other countries are irrelevant.
The film is a departure from Roberto Benigni's previous more lighthearted and comedic works, which included The Monster and Johnny Stachino, with Life is Beautiful taking a more somber turn. Life is Beautiful is sad, funny, and haunted. While set during the Holocaust, the film has little focus on the Holocaust, but rather it has the setting of the Holocaust surrounding the main message of the focus of the movie, being the beautiful relationship between family and humanity, particularly rescuing and preserving what is good from a place of hardship and suffering. It's able to portray this through the games Guido plays with his son and the antics he puts on for Dora. The best example of this would be the facade Guido puts on for Joshua, where he has him believe the concentration camp is a game, as well as his various run-ins with Dora, and the scene where he hijacks the camp speaker system to speak to Dora.
C'è nessuno? Disturbo? Bitte? Bitte? Giosuè, vieni! Vieni, veloce come un razzo, vieni! Buongiorno, principessa! Stanotte t'ho sognata tutta la notte! S'andava al cinema! E c'avevi quel taglierino rosa che mi piace tanto! Non penso che a te, principessa! Penso sempre a te! E ora...
Mamma! Mamma, non esci il babbo e mi porti in carriola, non so guidare! Tavoletta e ridere, siamo in festa! Quanti passi abbiamo oggi, babbo?
Pio, corri, corri, qui dietro, c'è quelli cattivi che urlano, andiamo!
Dove?
Di qua, vieni! Oh, vieni, Josué! Oh, vieni, estás, voi, spezza i giorni che vi smontate!
Examples such as this show Guido's love for his family and the ever-prominent motif of family in the movie, and the theme of how your family will be there even in the darkest of times. The film portrays the setting of the Holocaust by kind of scaling down the severity of it to allow the more uplifting and comedic tones of the movie through. The main characters often find themselves in what may be seen as unbearable obstacles. They are able to get through it only through some of Guido's quick wit and humor. Some great examples of this would be the scene where Guido pretends to translate for the German soldier, but instead tells the prisoners that the whole thing is a game.
Gibt es hier einen Italiener, der Deutsch spricht?
Che ha detto?
Cerca uno che parla tedesco, spiega tutte le regole del campo. Che sei al tedesco? No.
Alles her, ich sage das nur einmal. Comincia il gioco. Chi c'è, chi non c'è, non c'è. Ihr seid nur aus einem einzigen Grund in dieses Lager transportiert worden? Si vince a 1000 punti. Il primo classificato vince un carro armato, vero? Um zu arbeiten. Beato lui. Jeder Versuch der Sabotage wird mit dem sofortigen Tode bestraft. Die Hinrichtungen finden auf dem Hof durch Schüsse in den Rücken statt. Ogni giorno vi daremo la classifica generale da quell'altoparlante là. All'ultimo classificato verrà attaccato con un cartello con su scritto asino, qui, sulla schiena. Ihr habt die Ehre, für unser großes deutsches Vaterland arbeiten zu dürfen und am Bau des Großdeutschen Reiches teilzunehmen. Noi facciamo la parte di quelli cattivi che urlano. Chi ha paura perde punti. 3 Grundregeln solltet ihr nie vergessen. Erstens, versuche nicht zu fliehen. Zweitens, folge jedem Befehl ohne Fragen. Drittens, jeder Versuch eines Aufstandes wird mit dem Tod durch Erhängen bestraft. Ist das klar? In 3 casi si perdono tutti i punti. Li perdono 1, quelli che si mettono a piangere. 2, quelli che vogliono vedere la mamma. 3, quelli che hanno fame e vogliono la merendina. Scordatevela! Ihr solltet glücklich sein, hier arbeiten zu dürfen. Es wird niemandem etwas geschehen, der die Vorschriften befolgt. È molto facile perdere punti per la fame. Io stesso ieri ho perso 40 punti perché volevo a tutti i costi un panino con la marmellata. Gehorsamkeit ist alles. Dal Bicocche. Und noch etwas. Lui di Fragole. Bei diesem Pfiff. Alles raus auf den Hof, aber schnell. Ah, non chiedete i lecca-lecca perché non ve li danno. Ce li mangiamo tutti noi. Antreten in Zweierreihe. Io ieri ne ho mangiati 20. Schweigend. Mal di pancia. Jeden Morgen. Però erano buoni. Ist Appell. Lascia fare. So, das wollte ich euch noch sagen. Dort hinten werdet ihr arbeiten. Ihr werdet die Dimensionen des Lagers leicht begreifen. Scusate se vado di fretta, ma oggi sto giocando a nascondino. Ora vado, se no mi fanno tana.
Scusa, ma...
No, non mi chiedete niente a me, chiedete tutto a Bartolomeo, lui sa tutto, vi dice tutto lui, Dopo ve lo dice anche a me che ha detto,
When Dora is about to be married to the infamous jerk the eggs fell on, and Guido rides in on the green horse and takes her away.
Oh, grazie! Musica, maestro! Auguri! Grazie! Prego, principessa.
Lei?
Veloce, principessa. Quello è lo scemo delle uova!
Another integral idea in the movie is that of how you can easily lose everything, which we see as Guido's family go from living happily together in Italy, where they run a bookshop, to being stripped of their livelihoods and taken to a concentration camp. This is shown in how the set and costume design changed so smoothly with the movie's mood. The costume and set design is by Danilo Donati, who has previous experience working with Roberto Benigni on his previous movie The Monster. On that note of Guido, Dora, and Joshua's situation worsening throughout the movie is the idea of conserving what is good in times of peril and finding meaning in suffering.